Approximately 4,586 babies are born daily in the Philippines as of 2019, which is the equivalent to about 191 babies born per hour. We were all once children and are a byproduct of different parenting styles, so with that, I think we can agree that parenting is definitely hard work. It might be the hardest among all jobs if we were to think about it. Throughout the life of parents, it's essential to find a balance between their own priorities as well as the needs of their kids, spouse, and other family members. Parenting is never an easy task, regardless of what race, status, gender, nor generation you are from. Now, living in the 21st century where a lot has changed, parents must recognize the influence of technology, both positive and negative. In general, a parent is constantly concerned how they would raise their children, hoping they would grow up to be great someday. And for this reason, we've gathered a few foundational lessons and advice to begin with, as told from the Gen Z's perspective.
First and foremost, recognize that being a parent is tough. You have all the responsibility to provide, protect, nurture, and instill great values to your child to gear them up for reality. You must be prepared in all aspects, expecting all sorts of challenges and downsides of being a parent, and furthermore, knowledgeable in terms of time management, budgeting, properly caring for newborns, eating and sleeping patterns, disciplining, appropriate use of media, and crucially, values to raise your kids with. Starting with the top 10 foundational parenting points, the first on our list is building open communication. Allow your kids to express themselves without the need to lecture or react. Number 2, assure your kids verbally. Make them feel loved, appreciated, and empowered continually. You may not be aware, but a simple great job or I love you goes a long way. Number 3, make time for your kids. Your presence is so valuable, so make sure to be present throughout your child's life. Number 4, quit comparing your child's life to yours or others. Recognize that every kid is uniquely different in their own ways. Number 5, modeling is the best way of teaching. Set a good example for them to follow and adopt the proper attitude and mindset. Number 6, allow failure and foster independence. Kids need to understand that you aren't always there for them. There's a fine line between showing your love through helping and spoiling them. Number 7, train your kid to be a good person. Mainly to be God-fearing, humble, compassionate, polite, and hardworking, and then the rest would follow. Number 8, encourage your child to find their passion or creativity. Give your child the room to be who they are, to develop their skills, and believe in them but don't sugarcoat reality. Number 9, teach your children about the realities of life, that the world may be cruel, but despite it, there is beauty in everything. Number 10, lecture your kids on the safe and wise use of technology. Avoid immersing them in social media at a young age nor use it as an alternative to a babysitter. Don't teach them to rely on it. Instead, try to engage their creativity in physical activities that they themselves would enjoy and benefit from. Now moving on, we have another set of tips addressing the proper ways to discipline, beginning with teaching your kids that obedience brings blessing. An example of this is using a rewarding system, which works best when they're young. You can do this as simple as rewarding them with their privileges like watching TV or eating ice cream. This teaches them to work hard for something that they would want in the future. Number 2, using the sandwich method when scolding them. If you're not familiar with this method, it's basically starting with a positive comment and then the lecture and finishing it off with another positive statement. Number 3, don't tolerate bad actions. Punish them properly so they won't repeat it. Spank when necessary but not on an impulse or out of anger to avoid resentment. Spanking is only appropriate for ages 2 to 12. Number 4, never lecture in public. This lowers their self-esteem and they're more likely not to listen nor understand when they're in front of other people. Number 5, don't spoil them nor give in to a tantrum. By now, we know what a spoiled child looks like and how hard it can get to control them, so be sure not to raise one because our world doesn't need that. Lastly, train them to live a healthy, disciplined, and joyful lifestyle. You can do this by setting practical rules, boundaries, and curfews depending on what would work for them best, and slowly adjust as they are growing up to avoid rebellion from them. Now following that, the last step for parents is to recognize their imperfections and find a way to improve them. And on the top of that list is more about not stressing over what you can't control. Don't watch your every kid's move nor expect too much from them. Control your temper and allow them to make mistakes and learn from it. Second, don't fight in front of your kids. You and your spouse are a team. Be on the same page when it comes to parenting, and don't make kids choose between you guys because it's confusing for them. Third is about ditching the toxic traditional parenting ways. Your child's life doesn't need to be a reflection of yours. We live in a new era where change is constant, so be reasonable and practical. Fourth, make any moment light and positive and spend more time with them while they're young because sooner or later, they'll start a career or a family of their own. Fifth, be open to suggestions from people around you, especially your kids. And lastly, remember that you are not perfect and so are your kids. Make your kids' life fun and memorable. And enjoy your life as a parent and don't forget that it is both a blessing and a responsibility to be one. To end, being a parent never stops, even when your child is all grown up. Parenting has evolved and changed throughout the years, and now more than ever, parents need to support each other. Every parent differs from one another, but one thing is for sure. Parents untiringly do their best to love and support their children. Despite the sacrifices and trials, there will always be beauty that we can choose to see in parenthood. So, to all parents out there, I hope you don't grow tired from all the wrinkles, the tears, and the mess your children bring, and instead consistently be there to love and guide them until they grow older. You are not required to be perfect at any cost. The best thing that parents can leave to their children are values and their love. As for the kids and the youth, including myself, appreciate and express your love for parents on a daily basis because, after all, tomorrow is never promised.